Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm solving Leetcode question 394, decode string. Given an encoded string, return its decoded string. The encoding rule is k brackets encoded string, where encoded string inside the square brackets is being repeated exact k times. Note that k is guaranteed to be a positive integer. You may assume that input string is always valid. There are no actual white spaces, square brackets are well formed, etc. Furthermore, you may assume that the original data does not contain any digits, and the digits are only for those repeated numbers k. For example, there will not be input like 3a or 24. The test cases are generated so that the length of the output will never exceed 10 to the power of 5. So let's take a look at the example. For the example 1, the input string is 3 and then bracket a. So in that case, this a is being repeated 3 times, so that's why a at the beginning of the outputs. And then after that is like 2, number 2, which means the substring bc is being repeated 2 times, so that's why bc. So in the example 2, we have a nested brackets. So 3, which means anything inside the outer bracket is being repeated 3 times. So let's take a look at the inside, take a look at the substring inside the outer bracket. So that's A2 bracket C. That means, okay, letter A follows by C repeated 2 times. So that's ACC. And then after that, ACC is being repeated 3 times. For the example 3, it's very similar to the example 1. The only difference is there is ending with the substring EF as opposed to the right bracket. So in that case, ABC repeated 2 times, ABC, and then CD repeated 3 times, and then followed by EF. Since there is no number K, and then this EF is not inside the bracket, so EF is just repeated 1 time. So the key to understand this problem is K with encoded string inside the bracket. And remember, k is guaranteed to be a positive integer. And then there will not be input like 3a or 24 with 4 inside the brackets. Idea for solving this problem is to check each character in the string. Check if it is number, then we concatenate that to the number string. K could be a single digit, for example 3, or multiple digit 24. So that's why we are concatenating to the number string. For example, when we first encounter the first digit 2, we continue to check if the next digit is also if the next character is also a digit or is also a number, that's 4, we concatenate that to the number string. So number string equals 24. So that's kind of how we find the number k. If the character is a letter, we concatenate that to the current string. We use the variable current string to keep track of the encoded string. If it's a left bracket, meaning that we have checked all the digits belong to k, we are ready to put the number string to the stack. If it's right bracket, meaning that we have checked all the characters for the encoded string, we are ready to put the current string to stack. However, do we need to put the current string to the stack? Or is there a better option? I think k times current string is a better option. But shall we put that? No. Let's say take a look at example 2. For the substring, A2 and then C inside bracket, this is the substring inside the outer bracket. Putting ACC to the stack is actually a better option than putting CC to the stack. So then the question is how to track the letter A and then concatenate that with CC. When we encounter the first left bracket in this given string, we start building the current string. And the current string equals A before we encounter the second left bracket. So we should put this current string A onto the stack before start checking characters inside the second bracket, and then before we start building the current string for the second bracket. So in that case, we put that current string A onto the stack, and later we pop that from the stack and then assign to a variable called previous string, so that we can concatenate that with the current string. So then the rule is kind of clear from here. So when we encounter a left bracket, we put the current string onto the stack, and then we reset the current string to start building it by checking the characters inside the bracket. So now let's code the solution. So we have a num string. We initialize that to empty string. We also have a current string. We initialize that to empty string as well. We also have a stack. And then we just check the character, each character in the string. If C is a number, is a digit, in that case, num string, we concatenate that to the number string. Now if C is alpha, which means it's a letter, so in that case, we add that to the current string. Else if C is the left bracket, so in that case, we finish constructing the num string. When we encounter left bracket, we finish constructing the num string. So we should put the number string to the stack. And then we also need to put the current string onto the stack as well before we reset the current string and then construct the current string by checking the characters after this left bracket. So in that case, we first put the number string onto the stack, and then we also put the current string onto the stack. And then after that, we reset number string and the current string. Else if else, which means C is the right bracket. So in that case, we actually finish, we need to concatenate the current string. So basically, when we encounter a right bracket, so we finish the checking the strings, we finish checking the substrings inside this bracket. So we are ready to close the bracket. So in that case, we should update that basically by times k, and then concatenate that with the previous string. So that's what we are going to do. So before doing that, so let's actually first pop the previous string. Previous string equals stack.top, and then k equals stack.pop. And then we need to update the current string. Current string equals previous string plus current string times. We need to convert this from a string to a number. And then after that, we just return the current string as the output.